What up, yo? Yo, I got this handsome guy in here. We're going to get down into some business. We're going to start recording for the audio-only podcast. What's up, everybody? Always got to come in loud because, that's like my thing. Yo, so, John Feins is finally in my house. And I know I spelled your name wrong like 3 times. It's Feins.
Feins.
Okay, so the
extra E is you can hold on to that.
Okay, god damn it. I had to like change
Everyone
it twice.
does it. I don't know, it was Ray Feins. Ray Feins added that late E there. So you're not alone. It's common.
Okay.
I might.
I felt a little bad at first about it.
No.
But yo, so John, who are you, man? Where are you from? What are you doing in New Mexico?
I'm here to support Taylor Nation. Power, equality.
I love it. Hell yeah, dude.
New Mexico. This is my second time here. I've been back 8+ years this time. I was here some years ago. I was always drawn here. Musical artists and literary artists that I admired, it would come up in their work. And I just always, even before I traveled here, I lived in Colorado first and then would come down to New Mexico.
Sick.
But even before I visited here, it was like, it was in my mind. It was in my consciousness. There was always a magnetism.
Yeah.
And then when I first came, I went through that great Santa Fe welcoming.
So
great girlfriend, great job, great house, great friends. It all came my way.
Oh my god.
And then like a clown, I took off for LA because I just went through that. Santa Fe's boring. It couldn't contain me, even though I loved it. And I took off to LA for way too long, but I always knew I'd come back. And then 8 years ago, I found the opening, came back. Same thing. Everything just went awesome. And it was like, man, this is the place. I was crazy to leave it in the first place.
But going to LA was like a really good experience because it was like, now I know what I've been missing out. And then you can come back and be like, I know what's going on over there. So it's not like, oh my God, I have to go there. Like, yeah, I've been there.
Well, you're right. First of all, it gave me a great appreciation for dark skies and Four Seasons and nice people. Mm-hmm. I mean, when I got back here, people were saying hello and being friendly. It was like, I can't believe I was going without this for 20. You'd hold the door 10 times a day. You were lucky to get 2 thank yous in that horrible place.
That's what is in New York.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no way to live. But I had tremendous personal and professional relationships in LA. I learned a lot about my craft, both artistic crafts and professional crafts. And so it's all of a piece. It was almost like I needed to go and do some tours of duty in the big city, and then make my escape and live somewhere reasonable. And it just seems to be of a piece.
I feel you. So where are you from originally?
Born in Manhattan, born in New York City, and Midtown. I was born in Midtown Manhattan, which is a crazy place to be hatched. I think that messed up my energy for keeps right from the word go. And then, but really, not too many years after that, my family moved to Boston. So I grew up in the hub, rooting for the Patriots, which makes people mad. Yeah. Celtics, the greatest team of all time. Red Sox, Bruins, who I was watching a tie game tonight before I rolled over here. Yeah. Fortunately, I wasn't late because it's a good, close game. So, Boston, I love the music, I love the poets, I love the sports, I love the clam chowder, I love the revolution. Yes. The founding fathers are my idols. I gained a great respect for our revolutionary origins growing up in I say, people give me grief for the Patriots, and I say, well, we won Super Bowl 0. We didn't just win the 6 titles that we have on our finger. We won Super Bowl 0 against England in 1776 and deposed the king, the worst team of all time, the English Empire.
You in sports, man. Like that's a realm that I never got into.
You told me you played football.
I played it, but like, dude, when I started in middle school, they were just like, grab the ball and run. Okay, that's all I know how to do. Hit that guy, got it. Block that guy, got it. I didn't learn shit until high school. I'm like, oh, there's 4 segments to a game. Okay, it was ridiculous. But I know there's a lot more that goes into the sports, and there's the statistics on what a player can offer. What is it called when fantasy league?
Yeah. Oh my god.
You and Jason always talk about that shit. By the way, really quick, I know John for 7 years. Just about. Don't you dare. I told you she was going to start blinking. I don't know. Dude, I'm going to have to replace her at some point. I've known John for 7 years, being part of the Zobra. We are the torchbearers. 2 of 12 of us, yeah. And we've always been talking back and forth. A lot of respect, a lot of fun. That friendship right there. And I know that this man is very smart. And I was like, yo, I'm doing a podcast. You should come on and tell some of these people, like, some of your background. Like, let me learn. Me personally, I want to know, like, how to get my band out there more. What can I do to get views, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, I've known this guy for 7 years, and I finally have him in my house. We'd be talking some shit. Born in Manhattan, moved to Boston, then to New Mexico? Or Colorado?
Pittsburgh, actually, for college. The Steel City. That was an adventure. I met some hardcore Americans there, and I was very fortunate to meet incredible people there, and also my poetry teacher there set me off on a really solid course. And so that was kind of, again, a blessing. And then Colorado. Then I took off for the West. I had taken a train trip 1 year from Boston to LA and back, all throughout the country, and to see some friends who had left Pittsburgh and relocated to LA. And when I first my first look at the West was from a train, from an Amtrak, the Southwest Chief, which runs from Chicago to LA, and it comes right through, Albuquerque and Gallup and all that. And so I saw New Mexico in a summer sunset from the observation deck of the Southwest Chief.
My goodness.
And that set a hook in me big time.
Damn. So
I've lived in San Francisco, I've lived in LA, I've lived in Boulder and Colorado, and
you've been around
a few places.
Yeah. And now you're stuck in. Well, you're not really stuck here, but you're kind of like
this is home. Settled. This is a base.
Yeah.
Base of operations. Yeah.
So going to college, what was that like? What were your like main thing for going to college for?
Well, I was creative writing major. And I had already decided, I'd started off, I wanted to make films, and I started to make some films in high school, and it was too messy. There was too many moving parts, too much insanity, and I mean, in time I would have adjusted to that, but my reaction to what it took to make a film was to have more of a singular pursuit, which led me to writing. I was always a reader, and to me, a huge part of films is the storytelling. Yeah. No matter how cool the visuals are, to me, the films I enjoy tell a great story. So it was natural for me to then kind of pivot to writing. And so by the end of high school, I knew I wanted to be a writer. And so I went to college to get some creative writing instruction, essentially, and also to party as much as I could before reality set in.
Of course. Hell yeah. I mean, that's the majority of why a lot of us go to college, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I joined a fraternity there. We were truly...
that's why you're so chill.
I thought Animal House was like really anarchistic and wild, and it is. It's still one of the great movies ever. But we put Animal House to shame.
Really?
I can tell you stories.
Oh, my. Yo, at the end, I would love to hear about it. Seriously.
You got it.
But being
the statute of limitations is over for most of that
really?
Stuff.
I missed out on going to college. I didn't want to be in debt until I was...
No, hey, that's what I tell people. Don't bother.
I mean, you can literally learn, 72% of what you get in college on the internet.
At least.
72%. Like, that's crazy.
And it's about hard work. Mm-hmm. If you're willing, unless you absolutely need that shingle to get to, like, say, a lawyer, then you've got to do it.
Right.
You got to get the shingle and then go to law school with that shingle. But unless the shingle from the university is essential to your chosen path, then save the money, study on your own, work hard. There's a whole formula that I would suggest over taking on that debt.
Got you. And I definitely want to get into that.
Sure.
But before that, I really want to know about your childhood, your family. Like, are you the smartest in the family? Are you the artistic one? Are you the only child? What was your upbringing like out there in Manhattan? Like, what's the background on that?
Wow, I mean, it's such a big question. There's so much to it. That's cool though. 3 kids. and both my parents had artistic talents, and I think all the kids had artistic gifts of one level or another. Certainly music runs deep in my family.
Sick.
Came in heavy on my mom's side. I'll bet there's some on my dad's side too. It wasn't immediately there. But it's, when I first learned guitar, it was like I could feel energy coming out of my DNA. Now that probably sounds a little far out, but it was like, whoa, I'm waking up something that was in me. I'm not just learning cold. Sometimes you're learning something and you're like, you're learning it cold. When I learned music, I still had to go through the paces. It's hard. Yeah. And you got to put in hours and hours and hours. But I still felt something that was in me was being sparked to life.
Coming out of you. Yeah.
And that, my grandfather played saxophone in the Yale band. And my great-grandfather ran a music store in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And my mom played a bit. And so, there was definitely that. And both my parents were really good visual artists as well. I got none of that. Someday I hope to vanquish that. I got to go take a drawing class at the community college or something because I really want to do that. But that's one thing I haven't done. But my brother plays. My brother plays music, bass player. And
sick.
So we grew up.
Older brother,
younger brother. I'm the oldest.
Okay. Gotcha.
And so we grew up. It was teenage wasteland. It was outside of Boston, and it was truly teenage wasteland. But at the same time, we fished, and we played. I played hockey on the pond across the street. Played street hockey. Played baseball, football, all of it. Yeah. As much as we did. Video games and watched TV and did, but had our bicycle gangs roaming around causing mischief and outfoxing the cops. There was also just a lot of good outdoor stuff and fairly kind of standard. I can't think anything too out of the ordinary other than just going to school and then getting into as much mischief as possible when school and family duties were taken care of.
No, I know you gotta take the time for yourself. What about your youngest brother? Because I'm assuming the second youngest plays the bass.
My brother came after me, and he plays the bass, and my sister came after my brother.
Oh, gotcha.
That's the three. Yeah.
Okay, I was assuming 3 sons, but I mean, hey, the sister dynamic that was something. How is it growing up with a little sister? You got to be like gentle with her, like she's fragile, or is she like today like a tomboy and she'll like kick my ass?
Not only the first female and a little sister, but also the baby of the family. She was the last one. I think we kind of knew there wasn't going to be kids after her, as I recall. That was the 3. And so, there's, you're definitely always looking out for her, like, with my brother, we're doing, brotherly beatings and troubles. And with the little sister, there's none of that. You're just, you're being a big brother. You're giving her stuff and, the same, and some of the same things you do with a brother, play catch and teach a little sports and
simple things,
pass on clothes and toys and whatever.
I
remember when I first got my driver's license, I took them both, like that day I took them both to mini golf, and, so, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Where are they? Are they still in New York? The rest of your family? Or are they all spread out?
Brother just moved to Florida. He spent his whole life in Boston. And he just moved to Florida in the last year, so he's going to try out some different climate. He'd had enough of the winter and the city.
Yeah, I can understand.
Boston's as trafficy as New York and L.A. nowadays, and so he just flew the coop, and he's trying things out in Florida, and I know he's psyched to be on a new adventure finally.
Good for him.
And my sister passed away. She's no longer alive.
Damn. Sorry about that.
Which is a gigantic, enormous loss.
Yeah.
But a lot of people go through it. And,
what was her name?
Susan.
Shout out to you, Susan.
And,
lots of love, girl.
So I just carry her in me, and
that's good.
It gives me a lot of empathy and a lot of desire to help others who are in distress, because I know what families go through when they take a hit.
Gotcha.
And so once you've been through it, it kind of puts you on the front lines. You're ready to help. when and if somebody or
you relate.
needs it. You've been there, and you know it's not so much. It's not like you say magic words. It's not like there's this magic cure.
Mm-hmm.
You be there.
Listen, the energy that you give somebody, yeah.
That's it. You be there and
Yeah.
just see what it is that might be good for them. And that's it. A lot of people don't know what to do when somebody in their life has a big loss. And, and they're not sure what to say, and they, it's such an impossible situation, and because maybe they've not been through it. And so, but it's as simple as that. Just be there. And not just for the first few weeks or the first few months. Check in.
Yeah.
Because the grief is a long process. So maybe 6-8 months down the line, whatever it might be, just take them out for a lunch, take them out for a hike. No big deal. Just be there. That's the greatest gift you can give.
Out of curiosity, that the whole thing that you just gave me there, that's it's a lot of communication, and on the flyer that I was putting on, you are a communications advisor. On the outside of the professional side, are you would you see yourself as a therapist? Like you've been in touch with the emotional, not only the business side, on communication wise, because it sounds like you're very in touch with that. Out of curiosity,
it's an interesting question that I haven't thought of before, but I think I've worked in various forms of communications, again professionally and in my personal interests, forever, and as time has gone by, I've learned there's like the nitty gritty, there's the craft stuff, and putting the puzzle pieces together, or whatever you want to call it, the straight science of it, the craft of it. But over time, I've come to appreciate more and more energetic aspects of it, the art and the creative, but there's also other aspects of it that come from the heart. Yeah. And so that's why your question is so interesting. I wouldn't have used that word therapeutic, but you might as well, because it's there's an element of coming from the heart. Yeah. That if you can do that, whether you're writing, whether you're making a video for TikTok, whether you're putting up some quick web content, or whether you're writing a whole book or doing a whole bigger piece of communication, there's a heart element and a soul element, a spirit element, those things that if you can be in touch with that and put that into your communications, that's the secret sauce. That's the special sauce. I
can relate, yeah. Because it adds that level to it where it makes it more of a meaningful project, meaningful job, meaningful connection with whoever you're working with. So,
well, and the other interesting thing is, as we were talking about earlier, this proliferation of devices in the last, call it 20 years. There's a zillion ways that people are communicating now. And, the amount of screen time that the scientists say that we're all putting in every day. And, with phones and just... So now, all these different platforms, there's a zillion communications a day.
Right.
And so, what's the difference between the email you delete real quick, the post you just scroll through, and the ones that get your attention? There's a few things that go into that, and one of them is being visually appealing right off the get. And then if there's a written thing, then you've got to hook them in that first sentence. But the other piece that's going to set you out from the pack is that soulfulness, that emotional connection that you're able to make quickly, and that's going to get you to stand out from the pack of constant stream that's trying to get you to pay attention and buy something or attend something or whatever it is the trip is.
Totally get that. I was actually listening or watching, I can't remember what it was, I think it was a podcast on YouTube, but they were talking about the art that is most crucial is not about how much effects you have or the scenery or the storyline. It's more about how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
All my favorite movies make me feel something. That's why I own them. And then there's other movies that are like, oh, they're great. Like, they went to China and they did this huge scene. It was gorgeous. I didn't really feel anything. It was dope. But I didn't feel anything that made me connect with the movie. So the emotional level is like really huge.
There's a quote right on the front of my homepage that says, "The universal language is not spoken, it is felt. And I just thought, man, that's a good
I
one.
like that.
It's really important.
Your
to know
homepage,
that.
where's that? Where
JohnFeins.com.
JohnFeins.com.
Yeah.
What can we find there? I mean, you know, of course we'll check it out, but like, what's a preview?
It's fairly bare bones. I have a services page where I just talk about all the different kind of communications projects that I do with people. I have an about page, and then I have like I call it dispatches, and that's just a variety of things I put up. Some of them are creative, some of them have to do with poetry, some of them have to do with local matters, some of them have to do, one section is called Power, and I'm just posting things that I feel relate to power.
That empower people?
Yes, exactly. One's called Word, and that's just my interest in the written word and the spoken word. One's called Creation, and that's usually just poems or occasionally maybe some music or other things that I throw up there.
Hell yeah.
So
if we go to johnfeins.com, can we find your poetry?
There's a few. There's about half.
I just found out this guy does poetry. I've known this guy for 7 years, and I didn't know this guy does poetry. God damn, the ignorance.
Well,
Anyway.
it's not the topic du jour anymore.
No.
It's a 19th century technology, 17th century technology.
The poetry?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, there's a few. I mean, the first half or 3/4 of the 20th century was amazing. Really? There was mind-blowing poets, several of whom I got to work with and know when I was up in Colorado for the most part. So there was amazing things that happened from the 1920s through the 1970s or 80s, and really even into the 90s or whatever. Some of those great poets lived into this century, but it's really it's in a pretty rough state right now. There's not a lot going on. There's not a lot of great living practitioners. We'll see where it goes. I keep praying for Renaissance. I keep thinking, because it's such a great art for our time. Yeah. It's short, it's powerful. You could fit it in an Instagram, you could fit it in a post, you could fit it in your pocket. They're small books of poetry, and they're not and you pack a ton of energy and information into a small space.
I agree.
So it's a great form, and I thought it was going to go wild when the internet came around because it was built for it.
And unfortunately,
but it just has been resisting,
like a lost art.
Everything. Yeah, it's a bit of a lost art. I don't, it could be on its deathbed. I mean, there'll always be a little of it, but
I doubt that. Poetry is like a love language. You know, some would say French is the language of love, but then at the same time, it's like in an art form, poetry will never leave. Honestly,
I hope you're right.
I'm pretty confident that I'm right.
There we go.
Pretty confident. But sorry to interrupt on that part.
No problem.
Our first segment with John Feins has come to an end, guys. We gotta get started on segment number 2. I know I'm holding 4, but there you go, 2. And on the second segment, I definitely want to talk about the professional side. Like I said, I definitely want to ask some information about how can I personally promote myself, get more views, get my band out there, etc., etc. And I really hope that information will resonate with you guys. So thank you for tuning in on part 1. Part 2 is going to start in just a second, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I love you very much. Bye-bye. And that's it for part 1. That was smooth, dude.
All right.
That was sexy.
Right
so now all I got to do is set up a part 2. But we're still live, so everybody who can see us, hi. Check this guy out. There's so many things going through my head. I didn't know. I'm not surprised that you're from New York, dude. God damn it.
Talk fast enough for it.
I've been gaining my speed talking after a while. And I usually say, if you don't hear me, just rewind. Just go back. And you'll hear me just fine. How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good.
Fuck yeah, man. Thanks for getting into the details about the family, man.
Yeah,
seriously,
sure.
that's some relatable shit. It's some hard shit, but it's some relatable shit.
Well, it's like, a lot of people go through it. It's kind of hidden from the everyday. But there's just a lot of people, car accidents, COVID.
Oh my God.
People losing loved ones all the dang time,
Mm-hmm.
You know, our world is one in which you get 3 days off from work. You know, somebody dies and it's like, oh, you get the 3-day grieving thing. It's like,
That's
oh
it.
my God.
Fuck
you
no.
idiots.
We deserve a month.
Yeah, you know, exactly. You know, our culture doesn't grieve right, and we're kind of death deniers in certain ways. And I think more evolved cultures understand that it's a part of the deal, and they don't shy away from it. And when it happens, they
embrace it.
They go in it
They
and
understand.
deal and have rituals and have, you know, giveaways and all these different things that you can do about it. So I think it's good to be upfront about it. And
I always thought when I die, like, liquefy me, and then, like, while you're feeding me to things, like it's gonna be a ritual where, like, everyone takes acid and
yes.
just, like, has, like, a cup of me, just, like, put it into a tree or to that bush over there, or just into the concrete.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Just back in the earth, bro, because I don't want to be in a box.
I think there's not enough creativity. Hunter Thompson shot his ashes out of a giant statue on his property.
What?
Hold
on. Who's this?
Hunter Thompson, the journalist.
Hunter Thompson.
He's amazing. He's one of the great writers and mad
Check him
dogs
out,
of
guys.
all time. Like the man. The Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is his most famous book, but anything he ever did. And he lived life on the edge, totally according to his own rules. And when he died, he had his ashes shot out of a cannon over his property in Colorado through this huge fist. He had a symbol. His fist was a 2-thumbed fist called the Gonzo fist. And the ashes went way up and shot out and exploded over his property with all his friends there just partying their ass off.
That is sick. That's exactly what I want. God, it's a celebration, you know?
Yes.
As unfortunate as it is that someone dies, they're just going into the next phase. We're going to see you again. You're going to be in a different body. You're going to have a different voice. But that energy is like, wait, I can relate to it.
That's right.
That's what I believe. I've never felt it, but hey, man can dream.
He believed it. That's what Hunter said.
Yeah.
He said, I'm just going through the great wheel. He said, I'm a roadman for the Lords of Karma, and I'm going through the great wheel, and I'll be back again.
That's sick. Hunter Thompson, guys. Badass motherfucker. Check him out.
The great American outlaw journalist. No, peerless. It's no second place. He was the top dog outlaw American journalist.
That makes me think of have you seen Mr. Incredible?
No.
It's about a man who has, correct me if I'm wrong, about 4 or 5 children. Him, the mother, and the children live way out in the wilderness. The mother dies, unfortunately. So the father has to raise the children, hunting, cleaning, gathering, everything. And in her will, which was never written, she was like, I want you to cremate me and throw my ashes in the toilet and flush it down. Because she believed in Buddhism, like, there's no point.
Right.
But the family was like, no, we're going to bury her. And it's like, no, that's not what she wanted. And at the end of the movie, they burn her and they throw her into the toilet. And it's just like,
It's
made me
really
cry because it was like,
honor the dead's wishes.
yes.
That's
yes, it
one
is.
of the most sacred duties of life.
Yeah.
Is to give the dead what they wanted and to take care of whatever their final wishes were. To me, that's one of the great obligations.
Are you a religious guy?
Oh yeah.
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 Like Christianity, Buddhism, Judaism.
I was raised by 2 Orthodox atheists. They were dyed-in-the-wool atheists, and so I started off that way. So as I started to feel spiritual influences later in life, somewhere in my 20s, I kind of sampled all around. I was in a community of Buddhists up in Boulder, and so I got a pretty good understanding of where they're coming from. I didn't relate to it as a practitioner, but I loved the ideas, and I took from it what I could. And I got into Taoism for a while, just reading it and understanding where they were coming from.
Right.
Then I had a 1 in a billion experience, a chance encounter with a roadman from the Native American church, and he brought me into what they do. And that hit home for me. I really got into that and took everything I could from those experiences and brought them in. And that became sort of my favorite of what you would call an organized or specific religion.
Right.
And then over time, I've just continued to kind of learn. I'm a Freemason, and I study Kabbalah, and so which is not an organized religion. It's more of a spiritual practice. It's not a dogmatic religion. It's not a church. It's a spiritual practice that comes from way back. So I do all those different. So those things kind of just enhance my relation to God and my spiritual existence on earth. And so I don't have a formal religion. I don't have a given church because I didn't start off with one and I didn't formally adopt one. So it's sort of my own church, the Church of John.
No, I get it because like that's how a lot of people are these days. They're like, well, in a negative aspect, they take what they want out of it, but it's more about like what are the positive things, you know what I mean, like what are the best parts of each thing in life that you can take with you that makes you a better person.
Absolutely.
And it seems like you've taken the right portions.
I've really, I feel in many, I wish I had my own religious community, my own, having a church, having a community that I've had my whole life. I could see the advantage of that. I feel a lack of that sometimes. But overall, starting with that blank slate, no trips got laid down on me when I was a kid, so I don't have to separate that.
Yeah, you don't have to fight it.
I don't have to like, oh,
wait, this is wrong, or wait.
I none of that. I was a perfect blank slate.
That's
and
dope.
so I've totally gone my own way, and there's and I'm aware of what a kind of a blessing and advantage that has been.
That's really badass.
I had no trips to undo. I don't have to separate anything out or worry that, oh, well, that just came from Dad, or that just came from, this priest or this person. It was all my own discovery.
I get
so
it.
I have total faith and confidence in it.
I was a kid, but I spent like $30 on Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and the pastor said Yu-Gi-Oh's the devil. It'll do bad things to you. So I burnt them. I burned all of them. I had this iPod, old school. I still have an old school one too. Generation, I can't remember, like the big box ones, like big old screen, like a big old circle. I just put like 1,000 songs and music videos and some articles, and I was like in love with my baby. Metal music's the devil.
Oh yeah.
I broke it the next day because he told me that it was bad. And now it's like the music that makes me feel the most fucking alive. And like, you try taking that from me. It's just
I mean, we get enough of that nonsense in school.
Yes.
And other places.
That too.
And then you get it in church too. And a lot of people spend a lot of decades undoing some of that stuff that gets done to them. So I'm thankful I didn't have to deal with that.
Everybody watching, that was a conversation that you get for free. It wasn't recorded on the audio podcast. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. We are about to start recording part 2. Thank you for staying tuned with us. I can't wait because we're going to get into the nitty-gritty business parts of what we want to do. So thank you for tuning in, guys. Let's start recording in 3, 2, 1, and... Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to my podcast with John Feins. How you doing, John?
Taylor Nation. Feeling it tonight.
That's how I'm going to start the second segment to every fucking podcast. It's going to be an ASMR. I just need to get like a banana... Hello, everybody.
See, that would be a hook.
That's
which
right.
Is one of my, I'm sure we'll get into it. I mean, we're not going to get into music doctrine as much as communications doctrine, but I was thinking in the days leading up to this, like, when I was doing music education in LA, how many musicians don't even put hooks in their tunes, and that's the essence of. At least hit singles. I mean, if you're gonna be, techno maybe, but the old school of just, and you need a lot of them. I remember years ago somebody telling me that successful hit singles had a hook every 7 seconds, which sounded like a ton to me. That sounds like a lot, but one way or the other, you need to keep hooking the listener, if not every 7 seconds, rapidly. You can't just have a hook in the beginning and a hook in the chorus.
Constant.
You want to keep hooking them, and that's part of the music formula.
The only thing that
the podcast formula, or anything else that you're doing.
Got you.
How do you keep hooking?
I haven't thought of that. Honestly, like the first thing that comes to mind is I have a couple favorite songs. I can't think of the beginning of one right now, but instead of starting off with music, they go break down, motherfucker. And just that, just like that scream that like in your face, like Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, I just started watching this movie before you got here. Love and Monsters. It didn't start off cheesy. It wasn't like too much, but it was like he started talking about how the world ended because the meteor was coming down. They shot rockets at it, and the chemicals from the rockets came down, and it was like just super elaborate. Like, whoa! Like, wait, what? Tell me more. Like, and then I thought of you, and I was like, oh, he's gonna be talking about this shit. So I'm excited. In this second segment, we got 25 minutes. I just want to give you the reins, man. Like, because a lot of people are curious of how do I get my material out there, whether it be music, which is what I tend to work with a lot, or glass blowers, or painters, or sculptors, or even architects. You know what I mean? Like, what is your advice for getting our material out there and getting the best outcome?
Right. It's a big topic, but we can certainly talk about some of the foundational pieces, at least to start today. I think the first thing I'd say, and it's kind of a good time to do it. Here we are in November, and we're starting to feel the wind down of Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all that. The clock's just turned, so we're really in that home stretch.
I just noticed. I think this might be. There we go.
Thank you.
Can you hear yourself better?
Yeah, I can.
I was like, wait, something's wrong. I looked at mine and I was like, wait a minute. It wasn't all the way in. Anyways.
So, what I'm driving at is it's 2023 and my
22.
Well, it's going to be, or it's time to start thinking about it.
Okay, smart.
What I'm getting at is a marketing plan. Now, a marketing plan could be created at any time, of course. But the traditional thing you do is you create an annual marketing plan in the fourth quarter of the year before. And so, but again, I don't want to hem people into thinking, if they see this podcast in February and think it's too late. No, it's always the right time to create your marketing plan, and B, it's always the right time to review it. You'll even see this in pretty sophisticated businesses. They make a marketing plan for the next year, and then they never revisit it. And so they've got all these plans, and it's like war. What do they say about the war plan? It goes out the window when the first shot is fired. And it's the same for business plans. Like the minute you have a business plan, then January 15th something's going to happen, and then things are going to change. And so you create a marketing plan, but then you should revisit it probably once a month. Have a monthly meeting with your band, with yourself, with your associates, whatever your setup is, whatever your mission is. I would say at least, even if it's for 15 minutes, it doesn't have to be a 2-hour slugfest, whatever you need. But I would say, A, you create a marketing plan, and B, the secret of that marketing plan is to revisit it regularly, find out what's working, what's falling behind, what needs adjustments. It should be a living document that you're tweaking. But the main thing, like let's start with a band. Yeah. If I was going to do a marketing plan for a band, I would break it down maybe into monthly or into 4 quarters. Because your deal in January is very different than your deal in July most of the time. You've got that many more outdoor festivals and opportunities at different times of the year. Maybe depending on the band, you might have more action somewhere other than the summer. But figure out your seasons, figure out your key points. Holidays, what do we want to do on July 4th? You should be thinking about that now. Yeah. What do we want to be doing on Halloween 2023? Maybe you're, at least start to sketch out that idea. Again, you make an idea in November, and then in February or March, something else comes along and bumps it. Fine, update your plan, but start thinking about that stuff now, the whole year. And so calendar out everything. And then also, one of the basic things would be your email list. Let's say you've got 500 people. Okay, boom. We got to get that to 1,000. And maybe your goal for the year will be to get it to 3,000. Whatever you want your goal for the year to be, but then you don't just say, okay, the goal for 2023 is 3,000. You say, here's how we're going to get to 500. Here's how we're getting to 1,000. Plot that out and plot the action steps out that are going to make it happen. Web hits, a CD release. get real detailed on what you want your year to be and what your measurable milestones are for that year, and then the action steps that you feel you need to take to get to each of those.
Mm-hmm.
And if you feel that you don't know what it's going to take to get to 1,000 email signups,
email you.
Talk to people who've been there and done that. Someone like me, it could be anybody. Find people, or like you said, it's probably on YouTube. It's online. I mean, there's tons of great, and there's good books to buy. There's great online.
The best thing
advice.
that I got off the internet was the statistic that if you want to have a constant cooperation with the fan base, is that you need to post, or actually, Bo, thank you for you confirmed this. You need to post every 20 minutes on your story. You need to add something that, like, it's like here. You know what I mean? It's constantly something new for people to see, and that's what gets a lot of views. I've noticed that. I
think you definitely want to be new and fresh and active, and you also want to see what's working for you. You want to... Posting a lot is great, but you don't want to post to the point where you're not getting a lot of engagements. If I'm a booking agent, if I'm a record label, if I'm a media journalist, and you're trying to get my attention, and I go onto your feed, and you're getting 4 likes, and one of them's from, says Velasquez, and the other one is one of your sweeties.
So,
and she's the one who's always liking your posts. I'm gonna think, I don't know if I can book Taylor today.
Gotcha. I'm having this battle in my head if I should have this conversation with you after. That name is dead. Don't you ever say it.
Okay.
If you heard it, or if you're watching this, fuck you. First of all, never say it. It's like Voldemort. Okay. That name does not exist anymore. My last name is Toxin. I have to have this, dude. The choreographer of the thing, Adan, he hit me up, and he's like, "Hey, what's your last name?" I was like, "I sent him my last name." I was like, "Oh, I found it." Like, you don't put that, bro, motherfucker.
No, I totally.
And because of you, people are gonna be able to see this, and I'm just like exploiting it even more because I'm making it a big deal. But by the way, my last name is Toxin. If anybody asks, okay, I will kill you if you say the V word. Call me Voldemort, Taylor Voldemort. I'm pretty happy with that. Anyways,
but that's
having the views.
I think
very minimal.
Make sure that your engagements are tracking with your amount of posting. I would rather you posted less and had good engagements on those posts than posted more and your engagements were thin or weren't growing.
Okay.
That's very important. I mean, there's a lot of judgment on that. And so if you definitely should be, these tools are a godsend. When I was working with bands in LA, some of this stuff didn't exist. There were, and some of the social media stuff was brand new, or the video technology wasn't what it is now, etc. And so we would have killed for this stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, though, it puts you out there and makes it very easy for people to judge you. A journalist isn't going to think you're all that. A booking agent isn't going to think you're all that if you're not rocking it on those posts. That's their proof that you're somebody they should back. And so this gets at another one of the foundational points that I want to make. One of the ways that you're going to get those engagements up, and the way that you're going to impress the people that you want to impress, whether it's just a fan or whether it's, again, somebody from the press or somebody from the business that you're trying to bring into your corner, anywhere from a bar guy that you're trying to book with to, a label or anybody in that ecosystem, would be, you should be as professional as somebody who's already made it. Everything you do, that should be your goal. Now look, you got kind of a quick post, you got a phone video from a cool gig and you want to post it. I'm not going to tell you not to do that, but you should be aiming to have your website, your swag, your videos, your everything, anything that anybody might see, it should look like you're already,
on top,
Black Sabbath or whoever, a pro. You should look and sound and seem like you're already A-list.
Got it.
Aim for
been trying,
bad-ass quality. Your posters, your photos, your
Mm-hmm.
website. I'd rather you had 2 killer professionally shot website photos of your band and 1 swinging video than 10 good ones.
Gotcha.
Even good ones, good isn't good anymore. The way that you make it happen in TikTok, in YouTube, in Facebook, in Instagram, in the world of the press, all these things we were talking about earlier, all that noise out there.
Right.
There's 8 trillion politician ads that we've suffered through the last month. There's just noise. The way that you get attention is by having that sexy, awesome quality.
Right.
That hook. The minute they see it, I want to know more. I see that picture, I want to see the next picture. I love that video. Who are these people? I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's vital. And it can take time, it can take money, it can take having a good network, but it's non-negotiable.
Got it.
I saw so many bands, so many artists. They were dreaming as hard as everybody dreams.
You were gonna say you,
No, I mean like all of us. Like
right.
they had the dream. They were putting their life into it. They were making the sacrifice. They were living in crap apartments in LA, paying high prices for everything, pouring their money into their equipment, doing crap gigs, pushing CDs here and there, sucking up to industry people. Everything they could. They had the dream and they were pushing. And like they all didn't make it. Mm-hmm. I mean, the comedians I worked with, some of them went international. That's a different game. And the comedians, they seem to know, like that's a different game. And they work harder. The musicians seem to think that the game is going to come to them. And it's just, I don't know what it is, but musicians, it's longer odds and it's a harder slog. And they tend to be a little lazier. Mm-hmm. And I watch them all fail, thousands of them.
Damn.
And so it's like, you better grind it out and like look and be awesome in what you present. Quality.
So,
and that goes for the tunes too.
Right.
They need to sound like a hit single.
Yeah.
It should sound like a Grammy-winning record. And I had a Grammy-winning engineer tell me this. Like, you can do that on your laptop now, he told me. Back in the day, you needed sick money. But 15 years ago or so, 20 years ago, you were able to make a Grammy-sounding record on a laptop. So your stuff, make sure it has the dynamics and the hooks and the, I just watched that 4-part documentary on Phil Spector. And, of course, his life ended tragically. Mm-hmm. That's the documentary was covering that. But Phil Spector's records, which if you don't know, go back and listen to the classic Phil Spector records. Oh, my God. They still sound like that's how things should sound.
Really?
Or Motown, would be another. Oh, yeah, listen to the Phil Spector records. Listen to River Deep Mountain High. Listen to Be My Baby. Listen to Do Run Run. I mean, all the records he produced had this awesome presence. Mm-hmm. And they tore up the charts because of it. And I think Motown's another example. And I'll give you one more quick bit here. Mm. Berry Gordy founded Motown and churned out hits. Berry Gordy founded Motown Records, and he was from Detroit, and he had worked at Ford, and he took Ford's they created a flow chart for creating an awesome car, and it was this big involved flow chart. And Berry Gordy took that idea and made a flow chart for creating hit records, and you can find it online, mm-hmm. where you could watch the Motown documentary. But he made a flow chart. This, and he made sure that everything passed through that quality flow chart before they put it out in the public. And so it had quality checks and this and that. Check it out. I won't go into all the details.
Gotcha.
But this guy turned out, he was a hit machine of hit machines.
He was the god of his time.
Yeah. Big time. And those records still kill today. And so it was that quality work ethic of having a flow chart that he took from the Ford Motor Company,
right.
of how to make a car, and he did that into how to make a song. And it might sound like engineering or grindy, or no, it's all that did was enable the brilliant songwriting and the great singing to truly flourish and succeed and build on itself.
That's insane too. I mean, because I've heard of something similar where someone will take the recipe of A and then put it into evolving C. It doesn't work the exact same way, but you still get this product that is still like solid because you've had the concrete basis of A into that C. So I can see that.
Copy the greats.
Damn.
Learn from the greats, study the greats, copy the greats, and make it your own.
Got you. So I'm curious because in my head, the way that I've been building my band's page, because it's the only thing I can think of. By the way, shout out Inviting the Damned. Check us out, y'all. We are on YouTube. We are recording our first 3 singles right now with Red Gorilla Studios. Shout out Ricardo, I love you. Every time we have a flyer, we post a picture, we make a video, I always put it on our Instagram page and our Facebook page with all these tags. Metal, original music, rock and roll, headbanger, basically everything that would be associated with our genre of music.
Sure.
And then every time I post that, I always get at least maybe 3, 4, 5 new followers because the tag is rock.
Some of those tags are powerful.
Yeah,
people
exactly.
look for them and they'll...
So that's definitely a key thing, right? You need to tag things that are associated with you that are very largely branded out in the world and have that come to you kind of technically, right?
I love the tag game on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and I think and you want to find where those, there's the tags that make sense and they come to you right away. Sometimes there's like tags that you don't think of right away or sneakier tags. You want to be looking for those too, the big ones, but also study it and look for kind of cool tags to maybe work. Less obvious tags to work with. Some of them will fail, but you never know what you might find. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big fan of the tag on Facebook. I think it muddies up the post. Really? And people don't do the tag thing on Facebook. That's my experience. I mean, if you can make it work for you, but I've seen people tag the heck out of their posts. The posts look bad, and I don't think it works the way it does on Instagram or maybe Twitter. I like my Facebook posts to be very clean.
Okay.
Short posts, minimal verbiage, killer picture, and then link to where I need to take them. And I think if people see a post and it's got like a paragraph and a half of intro and then a bunch of tags at the bottom, they're out of there.
No, I know. When I post our things, for example, like our last show, I was typing, "We are so excited. We're very eager to show our new material. We can't wait to see you." And then, like maybe 2 or 3 lines of tags. And that gets a lot of love, thankfully. Where was I going with this? But what I do is when I make that post on Instagram, I basically share the exact same thing to Facebook. So you're saying on Instagram it might look pretty because it's under the picture, but on Facebook, because of the fact that it's right above it, it should be a little sweeter. Like, can't wait to see you guys. 2 tags. Boom, right?
Yes, I posting to both at the same time is convenient, but that's that musician disease that I saw so many times. That kind of, I just want to be jamming with the guys. I don't want to be doing tags on Facebook. Each platform has to have its. You might carry the post over, but then yes, you have to tailor it to the to the platform. You got to, and a bunch of tags above the picture in Facebook. No way. No way. Pretty. No, the Facebook and people just naturally search more by tag on Instagram, I think, than Facebook. Mm-hmm. And so if you can test your tags on Facebook and if it's working for you, great. But my experience is you really get people through a great picture, and then you want to link them to your website. Like the website should be home base, and that's where you can convert to a ticket sale, you convert to an email sign up, all the things that to bring people into your family, that should be happening on your website. And the Facebook post gets attention and maybe jogs, there's a show, but for new people or for most of what you're doing, you want to get their attention on Facebook and drive them to the website. Where all that action happens. Again, the email sign up, the ticket purchase, the CD purchase, reading about your bio, all of that kind of thing. So
my next question,
tailor it.
Yeah, my next question might be a little funny because, just speaking out of personal, reference. When you say a website, we should have a link to our website.— My head thinks of like. my head thinks of like a porn site. You know what I mean? Because it's like direct. It's like, boom, this is our website. In my head, when I'm talking about my band, I'm not thinking about porn, but I'm thinking like, what should be on our website?
Sure.
Because I've never made one. I've never looked at someone's website other than a porn site. So I think my question is, what are the key things about making a website?
Well, I like a good, clean site. You know, it should be easy to navigate. You should always know where you are, and it should be just very simple to read. It should be, you know, lots of blank space. The text layout should be digestible and readable. Good pictures, simple. You know, the day may come where you need to branch out and do other things, but I think less is more. And, you know, I think you want an about us, you know, the standard stuff, a contact page and an email sign up. Those are key. Little icons for your social media, of course. As a band, I would absolutely have a little player, maybe at the bottom of my homepage, or have a separate page for music and have either embed a player or just have my YouTubes so people can try 3 or 4 or 5 pieces of music out. I would have a bio. Well, that's the about us.
Right. So
and gigs, you know,
future gigs.
And then and no matter who you are, I would create a press page, and you know, and
what's
so
a press page?
A press page, a press room. 2 things. Number 1, you start to archive your coverage. And it could be social media coverage. Ideally, it's going to be coverage in little newspapers or little music blogs. But it could be even social media posts and reviews that you want to archive on your press page. But it also, I would have a small press kit so that people can easily write about you. It would have you know, you might have a high quality JPEG or PNG of your logo. You would have 2 or 3 high res photos of the band. A PDF bio, and I would just zip all that up and call it my press kit. You could see go on to other bands and look at their press
Check
kits.
them out.
It can be very simple, but it says to the media world, we know you might want to write about us. We're serious. We know you should be writing about us, and we've got the high-res image and the high-res clip and the high-res video and the logo and the bio page. It's ready to go, packaged up in our press room. So you heard about us, you know we're awesome, you want to write about us, whether it's your blog or your New York Times, boom, we've got all the assets ready to roll so you can write about us.
I love that. That's crazy. And that's a lot of info packed it you know, into just that. But damn, an hour went by already, bro. How would you feel about staying, or do you gotta bounce?
No.
Yeah? You can stay for a little bit?
Burn the midnight oil.
Alright. So check it out, guys. What we're gonna be doing is, because Instagram only lets me do a live video for 1 hour, I need to cut it off. But we're gonna come back with the God damn it, what is it? Not the audio, but the visual. There you go. So segment number 3 and maybe even 4 is only going to be available on my Instagram, Taylor_Toxin, and YouTube, T-Toxin Talks Local. There's definitely a couple more things that I want to get through with this guy. He is a poet. He's a guitar player. I definitely want to branch out on that a little bit. There's a couple more details about the professional aspect of what he's into that I definitely want to dive into. So yeah, guys, if you guys want to listen and learn some more, the only place that you can go is Instagram or YouTube. Check it out. Segment 3 is coming up. So, yeah, deuces, y'all. Boom! So we got segment number 2. Right on. And I got to say bye to y'all because I literally have less than 60 seconds before this dies out. So we will be right back with segment number 3. I can't wait because there's a lot of information that I want to ask this guy. And I will see you guys in like a couple seconds. Okay. Bye!